Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Dog Positive Training Podcast, where we're talking all about puppies this season and how to future proof your puppy and what that means. Let me tell you what it means to future proof your puppy. You want to get them ready and prepared for everything that's going to come down the pike. And I want to talk to you about some of the things that are really just the obvious reasons why you are going to use a crate and future proof your puppy with that crate. I want to talk to you about, just dive a little bit deeper into crate training because I did talk about it in season one, and it was kind of basic, pretty quick too. How to crate train your puppy, 5 steps or less. I think I have that. Yeah, 5 steps or less crate training, and it's awesome, but a lot of people are like, well, how long do I have to use the crate for? When can I take it down? Or, it looks ugly in the house or whatever. Okay. So let me just tell you that I've always left my dogs' crates up for their entire life when I got them as puppies. And even some of the adult dogs that I adopted, they all were crate trained because I just needed that management. I needed to make sure that when I left, the house was going to be okay, especially if they were a new adoptee and they were older. I didn't know if they would destroy my house. And also, more importantly, like for food or when I gave Kong toys or when I gave, uh, bones, raw bones, I needed to separate everybody. Bathing time, I needed to separate everybody. So there were real life management reasons other than house training and preventing from chewing because the dogs are already grown at that point. But if I didn't future proof them and train them as puppies to go into a crate and accept the crate and not, bark like crazy and cry like crazy and reinforce all that nonsense. You see the dog behind me? That's Troy. He's so cute. I love Troy so much. But before I met Troy, he was not crate trained ever. And Tammy didn't crate train him because he cried in the crate and she felt bad and she wanted to sleep and she said, heck with it. Come on, let's go into bed. Because look at that face. You know how much more, if it can get any cuter, that face was when he was 8 weeks old. He was adorable. I've seen pictures of him. He was so damn cute. So I can see the allure for people being like, I'm just going to put the puppy in bed with me. Okay, that's great. But what are you going to do when you're not home and when you're not sleeping and when your puppy isn't house trained? Because some people, all right, you take your puppy into the grate, into the bed with you, and they pee or poop while you're sleeping, and then you can roll into it. But I digress, of course. So, other than the basics of why we need a crate for the puppy and why you should, I want you to think about um, getting a crate that, like, if you have a dog that is not a small breed dog, it's a large breed dog, but you get it as a puppy. I would like you to get a large crate, but I would like you to get one with dividers in it so that you can just move that divider back. And then you can use that crate for the puppy's life as they grow up and become adult dogs. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on it, every 5 seconds because puppies and dogs, they can be expensive. Vet bills, training, toys, everything. Um, Deposits when you travel, at hotels, deposits, if you even Airbnb, deposits, if you need to rent a place, insurance, all that kind of stuff. Lots of reasons. Don't use a playpen. The reason why I don't like playpens, like people will literally get a child's playpen or X pens, and all an X pen is, it's an exercise pen. So it's the wire pens, and it's like usually like they come with like 6 panels, and you could add panels and make it as big as you want. But there's no top on it, so you have the wire, area, and people will put, and this is also the same for playpens, they'll put puppy pads in there, and usually the puppy shreds them, and a lot of puppies, even small breed dogs, climb out and they get out and you're not home and you come home and puppy's in a lot of trouble. They've destroyed stuff. Maybe they've gotten hurt. Maybe they've gotten into something that could hurt them. Maybe when they climbed up and they fell out on the other side, they hurt themselves. So you need a top. That's why you need a dog crate. I prefer the plastic ones, like I've said before. I think those are really good. They're very durable, very good for travel. And they're more secure. So, um, you know, and the other thing is when people ask me when they can stop using a crate, I really want to explain to everybody that dogs are really like den animals. Um, Dogs and other animals, if they are afraid or a storm comes or they're giving birth even, will dig a hole and that's where they stay safe. They protect themselves, especially when a storm is coming. And then they also have dens where they hang out. Everybody hangs out, right? When they have puppies, that kind of thing. It just keeps them safe. Dogs love to hang out under tables or under your desk or under a bed when when you guys are sleeping. And I know that for me, I'm going to talk about Rufus because he was the most recent dog that I had that was 100% crate trained. Rufus was amazing in his crate. He was a Jack Russell, so he was about 15 pounds. So his crate wasn't huge. Well, he did have a crate that he slept in that was gigantic. It was big enough for like a Rottweiler, but he had that to sleep in. But I also had like a little one that he still had plenty of room in, but I could maneuver it and I could put it in a closet and he could be in there like a walk-in closet and in the crate because you guys know he was reactive to other dogs. And if I had another dog over, I could just put him in the walk-in closet in his crate and he would be fine and everything would be cool. The other dogs weren't reactive that I had around him. So I didn't have to worry about their behavior towards him. But who could put their dog in a crate in a walk-in closet? And the dog doesn't cry. The dog's like, hey, thanks. I got my Kong. I'm private. I love this. And he loved his crate. All of my dogs loved their crate. They would just go in it. Talu, she was a 42 pound pit mix. And one day I was looking for her and I couldn't find her and I was freaking out. She went into a really small crate, a plastic crate that I had for Rufus when he was a puppy. So he was like 5 months old in there when I adopted him. And she put herself into that crate. And just, I don't know how she did it, but that dog loved crates. When I had my shop and the agility equipment up, the tunnel, again, looking for a Talu. T, where are you? Like, where could she have gone? The doors were locked. What's happening? Where's my dog? She was, and I all of a sudden I started to see and hear a thump, 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 and the tunnel was moving, right? So she was in the tunnel. But anyway, my point is that they like to feel safe. They like to have a place to go to when there's a lot of commotion, or sometimes just to hang out, or to go to bed, or if they're tired. It's very similar to us, like when we're tired and we're like, I'm just going to go lay down, or I'm just going to go lay on the couch, or wherever your most favorite spot is. That's where you're going to go to because you're tired, because you want to feel safe, because you want to feel secure, you want to feel comfortable. And that's what the crate represents for our dogs. Don't use them for punishment. It's not effective. And then you're taking away the safety net that they have. I always want my dogs to have an area and a safety net, a crate where, if I have company over and when I have, construction over, like when we had construction, because we put up handrails, grab bars for me in the bathrooms. I had to hold Troy on his leash all day long. And it was like for, I don't know, 10 hours a day. And that was just so much. Like at the end of the day, we didn't want to be near each other at that point. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sick of having to have you attached to me. And he was sick of having to just follow me everywhere. It was just a long day. But it would have been great if I could have just put him in the crate and given him a Kong and not worried about it. And, that's it. So, I also always feed my dogs in their crates. I think it's important when they're puppies, especially because I want to get them used to their crate. I don't want it to be a trick. It's not punishment. It's not it's everything good happens in the crate. Everything good. Kong toys, treats, my meals happen in the crate. Everything good. The regular toys as they grow up and you get them maybe a softer toy. Uh, Rufus loved his soft toys. He got a Kong every time he went into the crate. And he would take his Kong in there, whether it was full or empty. He would take a tennis ball in there. He would take a stuffed animal in there. Like he might as well have had a flat screen TV in there. He was having a blast in his crate. So yeah, so that was I really liked the fact that he was so comfortable in the crate. And all my dogs were, over the years, and that I have had to evacuate. I live in Florida. I've lived here for a while, and I've had to evacuate several times. And guess who was in crates? My dogs. And it wasn't a problem because they were crated and they were quiet in the crate. That's the other thing. And I think about when your dog has to go to the vet. When they have to go to the vet, um, say they need a procedure, surgery, or spay and neuter, or something simple, and it's you have to leave the dog there the whole day. Well, before the dog goes under anesthesia, and after the dog is out of anesthesia, if your dog is not used to crating, they're going to be a nervous wreck, and it's going to be really rough on them and rough on the staff because they have to listen to all that barking and whining and crying, and it just gets, really, kind of grating on your nerves if it's all day. And, I feel so bad for the dog because they're like, what's going on? I'm not used to this. I don't like this confinement. We don't know what's going on in their head, but the way they're acting, what I'm seeing when they're acting that way to me is like they're just really stressed out. And I want to do everything to make their time easier there because when they're less stressed out, I'm less stressed out. The vet is less stressed out. The vet tech, the nurses are not stressed out. It just makes life easier for everybody. And most importantly, it makes life easier for the dogs, and I feel like there is a link to, I don't know how, but I feel like there's like a little link in um, separation anxiety because if you don't do crate training properly and your dog's not used to being away from you, even in a crate, or your dog isn't used to being in the crate when you're in the house while you're working, if you work from home or you're just home and you just, go in a crate. Yeah, I got stuff to do. I can't watch you. And your dog, isn't used to it. We need to get our pets used to it because I feel like if they don't have that, I don't know if it's confidence, maybe it is confidence, to be by themselves when you leave to go to work or a doctor's appointment or whatever, a party, you're going to leave your house at some point. Your dog is going to maybe freak out because they're not used to that. They're not used to being alone. So I really want you to think about that. That's what I mean about future proofing. I'm talking about future times in your dog's life, even if they're a young puppy, and depending upon if you're going to spay and neuter your dog, what age you're going to spay and neuter them. Some people don't spay and neuter their dogs until they're like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. You definitely need to have them crate trained. You don't want any accidental litters, say. So think about all these things. Day boarding. let's just say you want to drop your dog off somewhere and not even daycare, but it's just day boarding. Your dog's freaking out because they're not used to being away from you. They're not used to being around other dogs. They're not used to being crated. We want them to be used to that. So it's a really great thing to use for the future of your dog because it's going to keep them less stressed and you less stressed. And that's what I want, because I don't want you calling me when your dog's 2 years old or 6 years old or even older. I've gotten calls where they're older and it's like, oh, we have to move and we've never crate trained our dog's not crate trained. And where'd you get your dog? He was 8 weeks old when I got him, but he was so cute. We didn't do anything. We didn't crate train him. I don't want those phone calls. I'm still going to get those phone calls. It's all right. I love those calls. I love working with people and helping them solve problems. I love being able to help you have a better relationship with your dog. And I really want to keep your dogs out of rescue, and I really want to keep your dogs out of the shelter and, away from being euthanized. This is a real life. I know we don't like talking about it, but these are the kind of the calls I get. That's why I'm dedicating my podcast to future proofing your puppy. And I don't know how long I'm going to dedicate it for, but it's going to be a while because this is like a really, really important topic for everybody to really pay attention to, really listen. It's not about us, it's about our dogs. And if we can put our puppies and our dogs first above what we think, what we want, and our uncomfortability, you're going to turn out a really good dog, a really well-adjusted dog. You have to put their needs first. And part of putting their needs first is crate training them and getting them secure and safe in that crate, feeling safe in that crate. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Do I really need to crate train my puppy is the name of this episode. Yeah, you really, really, really need to crate train your puppy. Please crate train your puppy. And if you have any questions, ask me. You know where to find me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. It's at Doggone Positive. Give me a shout, drop me a message. You can also email me at scrattiopatty@gmail.com. Please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys listening and going through all the growing pains of this podcast and kind of getting everything together. I'm getting better backgrounds and, better music or just some kind of music. But thanks so much. I want you guys to have a wonderful day. I want you to have a doggone positive night with your pets. Let's get it going. Get those Kongs out. Get them stuffed. Give them to the puppies. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great night. Bye.